Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's class, we are going to look at some of the important multiple choice questions with respect to Financial System 2, which is the Economics General paper for SYBA. In today's lecture, I am starting up with Chapter 4. So in my previous lectures, I have covered all the important MCQs from first 3 chapters. I have put the links in the description below. Please go and check those lectures. In this class, let us start with Chapter 4. The first question in relation to Chapter 4 is, which of the following are the objectives of changing landscape of banking in India? And the underlying options are: the first objective is to create a viable and efficient banking system in India. The second is to modify policy framework and improve financial soundness and financial credibility in India. The third is to increase transparency in banking sector, and the fourth is all of the above. That means to create a viable and efficient banking system in India, to improve or increase the efficiency and transparency of banking in India, and also to modify the policy framework and to improve financial soundness and financial credibility. So here the objectives of changing landscape of banking sector in India are all these 3 points, that is point A, B and C, and hence option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope this is clear. Let us now move to the next question. Similar sort of question framed in a different fashion. The objectives of reforms in Indian banking sector in relation to changing banking structure are, change in banking structure are what? So here the first is to improve asset quality of banks, what kind of assets the banks have. Second is to facilitate faster credit delivery. The third is to provide policy environment for public ownership of banks, and the last is all of the above. That means to improve asset quality, to provide policy environment so that there will be public ownership of banks, and also to facilitate faster credit delivery. So here again a similar sort of question, and the correct answer is again all of the above. So here the correct answer is option D, all of the above. So in these two questions we have seen the important objectives of the changing landscape of banking sector or financial sector in India, and they are: first is to create a viable and efficient banking system in India. Second is to modify policy framework and improve financial soundness and credibility. Third is to increase the transparency in banking sector. Fourth is to improve asset quality of banks. Fifth is to facilitate faster credit delivery, and sixth is to provide policy environment for public ownership of banks. So these are 6 important objectives of the changing landscape of banking sector in India. I hope they are pretty much clear. Let us now move to the third question. The third question is, dash are the outcomes. Here I was looking at the objectives, here I am looking at the outcomes of recent developments in the Indian financial sector. What are the outcomes of the recent development that have happened in the Indian financial sector? And the underlying options are: first is usage of social media platforms to reach out to customers. That means they have started using emails, they have started using, say, Instagram, Facebook pages and all these things. The next is promotion and usage of mobile banking services. You will now very often see advertisements everywhere, which is in a sense trying to push forward the mobile banking technology. The third is usage of internet services. That means internet banking, online payments and things like that. And the last is all of the above. That means usage of internet banking, promotion and usage of mobile banking services, and usage of social media platforms to reach out to the audience or to their customers. So here again, dash are the outcomes of recent developments in Indian financial sector. All of these are the recent outcomes of the developments that have happened in the Indian financial sector, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this question. Let us now move to the next one. Again, the question is in relation to the outcomes of these important decisions or developments that have happened over the period of time. The question is, the outcomes of recent developments in the Indian financial sector are dash, and the underlying options are: A, e-commerce platforms are there; B, core banking services. That means if at all I have my account in SBI which is in Chandigarh, but I want to withdraw my funds from SBI which is nearest branch which is there in my place, or probably where I am staying now. So let us assume that my actual bank account was in Chandigarh and now I want to remove money from Pune. So this service, which is called as the core banking facility or service, that helps me to at least withdraw my funds. Most of the banks are doing it in a phased manner. In a sense, majority of the public sector banks have already done that. The third is e-banking services. All of us are aware of the e-banking services. We are actually using it in some sense or the other. And the last is all of the above. That means e-commerce, e-banking, as well as core banking systems. So here again, the outcomes of recent developments in the Indian financial sector are all of these. That means option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The outcomes of important developments in Indian financial sector are what? Again, there is a third question which is in relation to the outcomes of the recent developments that have happened in the Indian financial sector. Let us look at the underlying options. A, digital signatures. B, corporate internet banking. C is the usage of wide area network or intranet by the banks. And last is all of the above. That means digital signatures, corporate internet banking, as well as usage of intranet or wide area network by the banks. So here again, the important outcomes are all of these. So here option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. You must have noticed that I've given you questions which have all of the above as the answer, because I want to make sure that you get a sense of what were the outcomes, what were the objectives of certain developments that have happened in the Indian financial sector. Okay, so in these three questions, we have seen 9 important outcomes of the recent developments that have happened over the years in Indian financial sector. Let us revise it one by one. The first was usage of social media platforms to reach out to their customers. Second was promotion and usage of mobile banking services. Third was the usage of internet banking. Fourth, and very important, is e-commerce. Fifth is core banking services or facility. Sixth is e-banking services. Seventh is digital signatures. Eighth is corporate internet banking. And last, ninth, is usage of wide area network or intranet by the banks. So these are 9 important outcomes of the recent developments that have happened in the Indian financial sector. I hope they are pretty much clear. Let us now move to the 6th question. Some of the subsidiary services provided by banks as a result of developments in financial sector are what? Subsidiary services as a result of the developments that have taken place in the financial sector. The underlying options are A, micro ATMs. B, payment of utility bills, majority of water payment, electricity, LPG, all these things. C is online shopping, and last is all of the above. So here again, subsidiary services as a result of the recent developments in the financial sector are denoted by all these 3 important points. That means online shopping, utility bill payments, as well as micro ATM services. So therefore option D, again, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question, which is a sort of subsidiary services, or which is in relation to a sort of subsidiary services provided by the financial institutions as a result of the recent developments that have taken place in the financial sector in India. So here again, option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. Let us now move to the next one. The next is again in relation to subsidiary services. As a result of recent developments in the financial sector in India, dash are some of the subsidiary services provided by banks. What are the subsidiary services provided by the banks? First is trading in shares. Second is credit cards. Third is smart cards or debit cards, and last is all of the above. So here again, subsidiary services provided by the banks as a result of recent developments in Indian financial sector, and these 3 points denotes the same. That means these are indeed the subsidiary services provided by banks. That means issuance of debit cards or smart cards, issuance of credit cards, and also trading in shares. So here again, option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. So again, let us revise the 6 important subsidiary functions or services, subsidiary services rather, because of the recent developments that have happened in the Indian financial sector. They are micro ATMs, payments of utility bills, online shopping, trading in shares, credit cards, debit cards or smart cards. So these are 6 important subsidiary services as a result of recent developments in financial sector in India. I hope the questions are pretty much clear. In the next lecture, I'll talk about the insolvency and bankruptcy code. So please stay tuned for more. Thank you.